Hello everyone, it is I, Fable, your new best friend. We're looking at the Heretic Naval raiding parties. We kind of learned a little bit about them during the event, like watching the one video by Mr. Bones 40K. But let's take a deep dive
As
more
man
into
and
them.
demon have marched tremendous armies into the churning mass of destruction of the Carcass Front, spending millions of souls launching or repelling huge incursions that march from the gates of hell, there are other theatres of war that rest on a delicate razor's edge. At various points in history, brutal battles at sea have seen hundreds of ships sinking to the bottom,
Yeah,
thousands of
jeez.
souls taken
I
with
like
them.
the armor though.
From 1215 to 1306, during the Wars of Triclavianism, forces loyal to various elements of the faithful clashed on rivers, lakes, and the seas as they struck at each other on the coasts in battles that now seem almost quaint. In 1666, the year of Six Woes, a brutal raid by the heretics saw them capture Gibraltar, giving themselves a footing in Europe. In
Oh man.
1805, the heretic fleets brutalized the fleet of England in the Battle of the Bloody Cliffs. With Admiral Nelson dead and the high dread Captain Ranga victorious, the heretics had all the control they
Seriously though, the
needed
armor is
to
so
start their
good.
secretive work developing the first modern submarines. In conjunction with the demon Marbas, their scientists constructed a terrifying fleet of submarines designed to hunt down merchant navies. With a vice-like grip on shipping lanes all over Europe and the coast of Africa, famines broke out that were unlike anything the world had ever seen. After hundreds of years of effort, the heretic forces finally realized one of their most important goals for their war effort. They owned the waves. The heretic fleet maintains naval supremacy on the majority of the seven seas today. Only in the Mediterranean do the faithful strive to maintain some parity in order to ensure the supply of New Antioch. But elsewhere, the heretic naval raiders are an ever-present menace to shipping lanes and coastal communities. Commanded by the High Captains, the power of the heretic fleet is threefold. First,
Seriously though, like the fact that literally the fact that the freaking the demon army has literal freaking raiding ships is amazing, but look at that freaking armor. I love it. It's insane.
there are the behemoth capital ships, built in mockery of the ark that God once bade Noah to construct. These are enormous capital ships, floating cities that act as mobile bases for fast strike craft and the insidious submarines that prowl the shipping lanes and ambush military convoys. For land operations, the fleets employ their infamous naval raiding parties. Naval raiders' armor is modified to double as diving suits,
It looks
allowing
like
entire
it.
strike teams to infiltrate the shoreline batteries or harbor defenses undetected. The diving cylinders of the
Is it bad that I kind of want armor like this? Because it looks really cool. I love the design. I hate the fact that it's actually used for evil though, but it's really cool.
naval anointed, such as the one shown here, hold oxygen mixed with unnatural fumes from the
Oh
Book of Fire,
no.
providing up to 66 hours of breathable gas,
Holy
and
crap.
bestowing a high degree of resistance to decompression sickness. Thus, they can stay submerged for extended periods of time, gathering large infantry strike forces undetected right at the enemy's shores. The heretic naval raiders rarely have problems in finding fresh recruits. Several mighty nobles of hell they claim over the seven seas, attracting many of their worshippers to the fleets, and there is plentiful loot, as well as many chances for promotion and finding favour in the eyes of their infernal overlords through deeds of wanton murder. Despoiling the places where saints once spread the fate of the tyrant god the heretics hate with a white-hot burning rage. A favourite tactic of the naval raiders is to sneak upon their target in the cover of night, striking at dawn in honour of the morning star. This serves the dual purpose of taking the enemies when they are at their most vulnerable, as well as a blasphemous ritual in honour of the throne that the infernal lords one day wish to erect on Mount Safan, after toppling the seat of Yahweh. The raids typically start with a silent stealth assault. Any lookouts will have their throats ripped open by the Tartarus claws of the Death Commandos, while
Jesus.
silent naval legionnaires emerge from beneath the waves. unleashing sudden death with poisonous gas grenades, silenced pistols, and boarding axes. Once the alarm is raised, a bombardment by specialized sea hags, artillery
Sea
which is
hags?
modified for naval warfare,
Oh my
whose
god.
bombs can be used as sea mines and torpedoes as well as ordnance.
So yeah, listen. Here's the thing. I play D&D, right? I love D&D, and when you tell me there's a sea hag, I literally imagine the literal sea witches, not like what they refer to as a sea witch. That sounds amazing. I want to see what this looks like.
Pound the target, throwing defenders into confusion and turmoil. This shock to the defenders is followed up by the charge of elite legionnaires, intoxicated by the fumes of their oxygen masks. Often the naval raiders have crept close enough to their enemies that when the time came to strike, there was no time to organize defenses. Lacking heavier troops or armored support, the naval raiders' combat doctrine relies on speed, surprise, and savagery. Fighting is to be undertaken at close quarters, favoring automatic weapons and penetrating any lines of defense and engaging their enemies in brutal melee with boarding axes and short stabbing blades before a
Jesus.
proper defensive line can be organized. Competition for prestige and honor of inflicting the greatest amount of pain and destruction on the faithful lands is fierce. To provide proof of their success and to strike fear into the hearts of their enemies, each High Captain has their own unique way of declaring that they were behind each raid, each one more depraved than the next.
Oh god, that's
For
horrifying.
example, the 112th Sea Legion, the Virtue Breakers, dismembers its fallen enemies and uses goetic rituals to return a necromantic semblance of life to quivering flesh,
Jesus
leaving
Christ.
crawling and twitching arms, legs, and screaming heads behind for their rescuers to discover.
It's horrifying,
Meanwhile,
dude.
the crew of the Serpent-class strike ship, Discipline of the Burning Water, prefer to drag their opponents overboard and then cut them with deep underwater welding torches. They take great
Oh,
pride by killing their prey in a manner where they die by drowning and burning simultaneously.
Jesus
A ship
Christ.
known only as the Dread has been known to raid particularly pious townships under the control of the Papal States, slaughtering the unprotected inhabitants and butchering their bodies. The limbs and heads are then sewn onto the bodies of still living animals,
Oh
or
my
stitched back
god.
together in a mishmash of dead flesh, before being arranged in a gross tableau of the nativity scene that celebrates the birth of Christ.
Oh my
This has
god,
been
that's
said to cause such
horrible.
fury among several church princes that they have sent parts of their own personal navies to patrol the coasts. But as yet, nobody has managed to catch the Dread.
Jesus
Objectives of the heretic
Christ,
raids
though.
vary. Slave raids,
Makes
destruction
sense.
of shore defenses or
Yep.
communities, looting merchant ships, or
Yeah.
escorting death commandos on missions to take out important church leaders or temporal rulers through assassination.
Uh-huh.
What the faithful fear the most, however, are full-scale invasions within their heartlands, like the 1872 landing that conquered Rijeka and established a beachhead that is like a dagger pointed at the heart of the church. Thus, the sea patrols from the Gulf of Finland to the coastal guard of the Demons of France, and the Kapundam Pasha's fleet sailing the Sea of Arabia nervously watch the waves, hoping that the waters off their coast do not hide a heretic naval raiding party. But the age of the Great War is dark, and the sea belongs to the enemies of God.
Jesus Christ, though. Like, god damn, dude. That is, these dudes are intense. The aerial witches of sea are called sea hags. That's so cool. Yeah, right? The astral witches of sea. Jesus Christ, though. I like these dudes. I think I know what video to watch next. Alright, so yeah, guys, if you like this kind of content, please do let me know. I thought that was really cool. I found this one really interesting. I like the armor and everything. I like the fact that the witches are actually called sea hags. It's really hilarious. Anyway, love you all. Bye. I know what to react to next. Alright, bye-bye.